Hey everybody, this is Damon at Greenhorn Gardening, and I've been wanting for a while now to put together one of these, kind of behind the scenes kinds of videos about how I put together one of these podcasts, because I know a lot of you really like the podcast, and so I wanted to put this together and let you guys see it. Here we are on the blog, and you can see I've got some blog posts and video there, but the podcast is what you typically see here. It's all audio. It's a kind of an online radio show, quote unquote.
And for the growing tip, lowering soil pH.
All right. Okay, and so that's you guys hear that every single week, and so how do I put all that together? It's just I have fun doing it, and I tell you what, it all starts with this right here, what's called a mind map. It's a kind of a visual aid that it's a kind of a graphical representation of what's going on in my head, and this is kind of what I follow for every show, because none of the shows have a script, quote unquote. I mean, you always hear me say the whole thing about, go to greenhorngardening.com/claim to get your free download. Yeah, that's written out, but the rest of it I'm just shooting at the hip, and I just have this kind of an outline of the form. And so here it is. Last week's episode was episode 54. This week's episode will be 55. I'll make sure to save that. And I guess in a new folder. 55. Oh, come on. Here we go. Let's see, marketing. Yeah, kind of a nerd about these things. And new folder. 55GG55. And that's what we start with. And each show has a chit chat section. Each show has the main topic for that show. And each show has a growing tip. And I'm just going to run through exactly how I would do this. And so I get with the growing, with the chit chat section. And that's where, here we need to change this to 55. Save that and then save that. And I have no idea what the podcast is going to be about. And here we are. We're really just about ready to record the podcast. Now, this is the only script here. Welcome to Greenhorn Gardening. I'm Damon, and I'm on a mission to help you grow your own vegetable garden. So definitely go on over to Greenhorn Gardening, yada, yada, yada. You hear that every single week, and I do that. And most of the time, I forget to tell you about my email and Twitter and YouTube. But most of the times, I do remember it. The first thing I do is I sit down and with the chit chat section, I think about what's going on in my garden. Like this week, the lettuce is dead. Lettuce is dead, so I'll just put that in there, and I'll just totally talk about that. I mean, the truth is that it was a very hot spring. The lettuce did produce this spring, even though it was so hot, but it's gotten so hot now that it's go ahead and it's bolting out. So it's time for me to pull all the lettuce out and go ahead and put something else down. And so I'll talk about that, right? And then the next thing would be, I don't know. I mean, just think about the, the bush beans are going well. The zucchini as well. Can never figure out how to spell zucchini. Is it two C's or two N's? I keep forgetting. I think it's two C's. Tomatoes going well. And I'll probably mention the tomato fungal fighters video that I have on YouTube. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. And so that's all the stuff that's going well, or maybe if I'm launching a new product, I'll talk about a little bit about here, and then, or if I got a new ebook for free or something like that, I'll just talk about it here. So, and then I'll just kind of transition on into, hey, if you shoot me an email or talk to me on Twitter or YouTube, and I'll give all that information. I try to do that every time, but most of the time I actually forget. Then I'll say something like, well, let's just jump on into the main subject, and then jinga jinga jinga, you hear the chingy music. The guitar chingy music, and then I'll go on into whatever the main subject is, and I'll talk about that. And once I'm sick and tired of talking about that, I'll just jump right on over here and talk about this. And like I said, I have no idea what the main topic is going to be this time. So by the time you see this video, the podcast may not be out, but let's just try to think. Now, a lot of times what I'll do with the podcasts is I will look at questions that you guys send me. Like this just today, I published this tomato fungal fighters defense plan. And look at here, I got 7 comments. And so I'll click those comments. Hopefully it'll show up. There we go. Someone from another website asked me, talking about preventing fungal infection and make sure you have a balance of microbial life. And well, that's I was talking about, that's part of what I do with the mulch. And he tells me, I was kind of asking him about how he found me. This guy is building a rabbit tractor, and he's got a chicken tractor in the works, and I'm definitely interested in chicken tractors, and and that's a good contact. I'd like to buy it when I'd like to at least consider buying it once you do it, because I'd like to get some laying hens in here, and so I'm thinking, well, so we get a lot of comments like that. So I say, well, hey, I'll just take the tomato fungal fighters defense plan. Hey, let's just do a podcast on fungal diseases and stuff. And I have no idea what the title will be, but let's see where we go back here. I'll say fighting tomato. I should do some outtakes sometimes, because I'm doing all kinds of crazy stuff when I'm tomato fungal fighters defense plan of doom. And then that's what I'll talk about and see. And then for the growing tip, I'll try to, now for most growing tips, I'll try to do something that's somewhat related to the main subject, like where can you buy, like we're going to talk about that. So what products to buy, okay. And so I'll do something like how, say, okay, let's go back. This is kind of how I think to myself. I talk to myself a lot, as you can probably tell in the video. And it's kind of surprising, and may let you in a little bit. I'm actually quite what they call an introverted person, introspective, kind of a bit of a recluse, just someone who I'm very quiet and kind of shy, but, when I'm recording the podcast, I can just kind of cut loose, But anyway, here I talk about copper-based or microbial-based fungicides, and that was one of the questions down here was, what do you mean by fungal-based, microbial-based fungicide? I mean, well, I'm thinking about products like Serenade Max. We can click there, and I'll probably put that in the show notes as well. And so that's what we'll do. Now come up with something like 2 products proven to suppress fungal diseases on your veggies, or something like that. I may modify that. And so 2 products proven to suppress fungal diseases on your veggies. And I think that's what they really actually do, is they suppress it. They don't prevent it, they don't cure it, they just simply suppress the diseases and prevent you from losing an entire crop. So tomato fungal fighters defense plan of Epic Doom. I'll probably leave off the Epic Doom thing. I don't know. It just depends on how goofy I feel today. And then that's it. So once that's there, I'll just say fighting fungus, and see how do you, and basically what I'll do is, because I've already done a blog post on this, essentially, and a video on this, I don't already have it in my mind. I don't necessarily have to write it out here. But what I may do is, where were we now? There we go. Back there. I'll just put this, okay, this is the tomato fungal fighters defense plan. And, okay, so we got drip irrigation, mulch, copper-based, okay, so, okay. So, what do we say? Yeah. So I'll type in drip irrigation. And these are the same mind maps that I put on every single podcast episode that you can download and have, folks. You can download them, print them out, do whatever you want with them. it's kind of instead of just giving you an outline of the show, here's a nice little graphic, and it's kind of neat. And so mulch, fungicide, no, if fungicide, and I forgot what else I said. I know it works. I know that. And yeah, fast maturing, disease resistant, tomato varieties. So that's a lot to put in there. So just plant selection, And so that's what I'll do. And so I'll just be sitting here talking, and I'll be okay. When I'm starting to talk about fighting fungus, I'll tell you a little bit about my story about how I've had trouble with fungus, and then I'll just start talking about the drip irrigation, then talk about the mulch, and talk about the fungicides, and then talk about the plants. And then once I get tired of talking about all that, I'll say, okay, let's just jump on into the growing tip. And for the growing tip, you'll see I'll talk about copper fungicide. Oh, come on. And the only brand I use is the Bonide. I mean, it's the only brand I've ever tried. I bought a big bottle of it, so, I'd have plenty. And then the Serenade, microbial. Yeah, it's just going to be too long. Fungicide. And Serenade Max is the only one I know of. I never tried it, and I'll probably make that point. Serenade. And I really would like to try the Serenade Max probably next year, because, well, you'll hear me talk about how you don't want to have a buildup of copper in your soil, because that can happen after it rains. You got to reapply. You may only want to reapply this stuff a few times per year, per season. But anyway. And that's it, folks. That is a planned out podcast. And all I got to do, what I'll do from there on, is come straight right in here to Audacity. This is the audio software. And I'm coming to you right here over the Rode podcaster microphone. I wish I had something like a Heil PR40 or something like that. But this Rode podcaster gets a pretty good sound. You guys seem to like it, so I'm going to stick with it. And I'll probably open last week's audio. Let's see where it is. Yeah, 54. Oh, come on. Couldn't be found. Okay, well. Well, anyway, you get the point. I just simply open and then just save it, and basically there we go. The point is that this is where all the audio happens, and it's all just wave files and wave forms and things like that. It's kind of my music background. I have a background in music, so I like working with it. And you'll hear that you can yeah. Here we'll go back to the beginning. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there we go. I think that just came through my headphones. But anyway, I don't think you could probably heard any of that. But anyway, but now you see that's exactly what I do to do a podcast. I just planned out that podcast and the length of time of this video, and it's probably going to take me that long to record it, and probably that long to edit it and upload it to the website, and that's it, folks. And thanks for all you guys who've subscribed to the Twitter, to the YouTube, to the website itself, bought products, the Raised Bed Growing Mastery and the Greenhorn Gardening Guide ebook. And so thanks a lot of you guys, man. I really do appreciate you guys listening. If it wasn't for you guys listening, I just wouldn't even really be thinking about, just wouldn't be doing this, So thank you again, and growing big, folks. I will talk to you later, and I hopefully have this podcast out by probably either before you watch this video or not long afterward. And hey, growing big. I will see you later.